Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Crimi-Trent. Today we're going to work on some woodland animals, and today it's the hedgehog. It's him with a little scene with the mushrooms and some ferns, and let's get started. Okay, so I've sketched out my design that I'm going to do on the paper, which is the rectangle of the B watercolor 100% cotton paper I bought at Michael's. Here's my little sketch, and what I do to transfer the sketch is I use this graphite paper like this. You put it underneath your sketch on top of your paper like so, and you take a pencil or ballpoint pen and you just trace over your design. Like so. Now I'm just giving you an idea. Let's go over this real quickly. Because you can sketch it right on the paper, but sometimes I do a lot of sketches from my book, whatnot, and it's really not that, you really can't sometimes duplicate exactly what you're doing from the book, and it's 10 times faster to just do it this way. See? And then you can see it on the paper. Well, I'll pull it up closer so you can see it. You can see it's transferred. You can get these at Michael's or any art supply store. It's called a wax-free transfer paper. It comes in the graphite color, and it comes in white, comes in blue, yellow, red. I would use the white if you were going to paint something on like a dark ground. Obviously use the graphite, you're going to paint it on a white ground. Now see, it's very dark on the paper, and then I'm going to take my gum eraser, which is God. You have to have a gum eraser if you're an artist. It just takes off most of the graphite, which you want to do, or the pencil, just so you can just barely see it. You know where it is, and you can paint on top of that now. Now for the drawing, the hedgehog, I don't know if I can explain this best how to draw a hedgehog, but I'll do my best. Let me zoom in a little more. Little ears, which is just a little rounded, you know, almost like a circle, and a curved line, another rounded circle. Then you're going to kind of curve down and around like that, and then his body like this. And then for the back of him, like the spiky part, you're just going like this. La 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 la. Put a little foot here, little feet here. Boop 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 boop. Little nose. Beady eyes. Of course, you'll leave a white halo. And then he'll probably have whiskers. And you know, when we're painting it, it'll look a little different. But that's the general idea. I mean, a mushroom, it's pretty easy. It's a curved up, over and down, like a bell. You can go like this, put the inside like that, polka dots, whatever. It's pretty easy to do mushroom. Fern, you know, curved, and just putting the little lines, little leaves like this. But you don't have to do that. If you want your hedgehog to be wintry and put a little cute little hat on him and a scarf. But today we're not going to do that. I would like to keep the tutorial to have some more longevity. Obviously it's getting close to Christmas, and after Christmas no one's going to want to look at a Christmas hedgehog. They might want to look at a regular hedgehog. For spring you could have him hold a little basket, put some eggs around him. You know, you can change it up for the seasons. But you get the idea of the hedgehog. So then we'll go on to the actual painting. Okay, let's get started with the painting. I'm going to be using my Grumbacher number 10 for the beginning. I'll probably switch to the 2. I have my palette over here with my multicolors that I've basically been using for the past few weeks. I might add in some ultramarine blue or an orange or a pink or so. But I always put the colors in the description box. I might not always get to them, but pretty much I try and tell you what I'm doing. So I'm putting some water on my paintbrush. And I'm using, let me scroll back a little bit. I guess I can't. Raw umber and burnt umber. I've got some mixed up in here. Gonna be using this fairly light, so it looks a little dark, but put more water on your paintbrush and it'll be lighter. And then you dab that on the paper towel. And we're gonna just go on his body a little bit. Just gonna do these upward. I'm just gonna fill in the area that's basically his body in this light brown color. Let me zoom in for you. I know the lighting is terrible. Sorry, folks. Someday the light will be better. See, I'm doing the little spikes already, but I'm just filling it in with light amount of paint. We're going to build up on this. Just getting the basics down. Look how cute he already looks. All right. I'm going to start doing his facial area. Gonna clean up the brush. I'm going to grab some, whatever red you have or pink, get it really wet so it's not really concentrated, very light. Maybe a pinkish orange. I'm going to do a little pinkish around his nose area. See, it's still a little too pinky pink. I'm going to zoom in even more. I'm just going to keep putting it and dabbing it, paper towel, loose wash. Getting it loose wash around his nose, maybe a little on his feet. But they'll be covered too. So, and in his ears, it's a little pink color. Don't concentrate so much that it's got this weird nose thing. Just go back in, take off some paint off your brush, and then blend it down. And then we're going to go wet it all around except the eyes. So he looks a little pink, but that will change. Take off the paint, dab your brush, paper towel, take off the paint here. Okay, now we're going to add in some of the browns. And a little bit of Paynes gray, so it's little grays. Gonna just throw those in a little bit here. Just take your time with this. Play around with it. It's gonna bleed. Grabbing some of the Paynes gray. Just bleeding it and pushing it around. Getting rid of that pinkish color if you didn't do the pink like me. Gonna keep grabbing some more of the darker color. Some of that gray under here. Some brown. Dabbing in over here. His little feet. Brown with a teeny bit of Paynes gray. I like using the big brush because I like to use the belly of it to soak up paint and the tip of it to get the fine areas. It's this constant battle of pulling and pushing. See the belly, I can push that paint around and pull it up. And then I could use the tip to go back in and add more paint. It's starting to come together. Just keep going to see where I want it to be. Adding and subtracting. You still see the pink. I'm going to take some of that paint away so you can see some of the pink. And I might have to go back in and add a little more pink around his nose. This is just a cute wet on wet loose technique. I want a little white on his stomach, so I'm going to take some of the paint away. And then we can go back in and start building his, what do they call those? For the unicorn. I'm sure somebody can tell me. Spikes, but I mean, there's a name for them, sure. They're so cute. They're like the cutest things ever. Not as cute as my golden doodle who's sleeping over here in my studio, but cute enough. So we'll just keep pushing the brush, little spikes. This is still very wet over here, so it doesn't have to be the same color. You can mix it up with some Paynes gray with the, see, look at that. And then wet on wet, it just has this natural effect of bleeding the right spike color. Just going on top of it, little marks. Put some dark color in there. Just keep playing around. It's a cross between realistic and not realistic. See, it's still very wet over here. Might want to soak some of that paint up. But when it's wet, you get these great bleeding effects that you can't get when it's not wet. Depends on how you want it to look. I mean, some people like their watercolors to have a real stiffness about them. I go in between both, depending on how I feel, how the design, the composition is going to be. So you get that? See, it keeps going like that. Just keep adding the layers. This is bleeding too much, so I'm going to have to give it some time to dry. Or I can add in some more of the darker elements. Same thing with here and this foot. This is in the shadow, should be a little darker because underneath. Put a little of the Paynes gray for his little claws in the front. Still want to add some pink back in. You can do that. So he's drying a little bit. We're going to move on to some of the mushrooms and then we'll come back to him. Going to do some red mushrooms, some green ones. It's a little orangey red color. Oh, and look, I just noticed a spider is crawling on my desk. Real time, folks. Excuse me, Mr. Spider. I did not invite you to this tutorial. You must leave. Oh God. I don't know how some of these YouTubers have these perfect tables and compositions and tutorials and voiceovers. It kills me. I like to keep it real. I'm sorry. I'm not a robot. So I did a nice little red orange there. I might add a deeper tone to that with some burnt umber just on the edges. I'll do another one over here. This could be like those famous red and white mushrooms in the forests. I think they're in the Netherlands or Germany. I can't remember where exactly. There we go. The stem would be like a light white brown. You have to play around with making it look that way. Just adding some color to the edges, like you see there. See how you use the belly to push down and pull up of the brush? Same thing with this one. Just kind of want to do the edges. I want to put a little brown on the edge. Move it around with the tip and then the belly of the brush. Push it down and around. Don't fear the big brush. Actually, you might end up loving it. Because the advantage of it is that you have the tip, which is nice, and then the big belly of it, which is also nice. See, I'm just adding some grays. Look at the Paynes gray to the bottom. The brown. Playing around with that. The back one, maybe make that one a little green. Or actually make a brown, but then I have a brown hedgehog, so too much brown. You can make a greenish brown. So add some brown to it. Make it any color you want, actually. Doesn't really matter, does it? So this part is much drier now. Excuse me, much drier than it was before. So we can go back in to his little spikes and add those in. Yeah, more concentrated color. If it's too concentrated, just take it off. Brush it off on your paper towel. So I'm doing a little of the Paynes gray with some raw umber and burnt umber. That's a combo. I'll keep playing around with it, adding, subtracting, till I get the color tones I'm looking for. Still a little wet, so I'm going to have to wait there for it to dry again, but I'm adding some of the Paynes gray, the little spikes. If you make it too dark, you make a mistake, you know, you can just go back in and use some gouache. And those are cute too, with the little white spikes on him. Play around with it. So I'm going to take the smaller brush now, because I'm going to be doing his eyes. Using black or Paynes gray, do his nose and his eyes. And we'll zoom in a little bit. There we go. So again, we're going to do like that little halo in the eye. You got his eyeball and circle. Leave that little dot, see? Eyeball. Leave a little dot up here, up top. It's a little buggy eye, but that's okay. He's cute. Little nose. I'm gonna add a little both. And then go in and add some whiskers. Look how cute he's looking. And same thing over here. Now that's kind of dry. You can go in and add some more spikes, little whiskers here. Not whiskers, I'm sorry. Little fur. Little hairs. Get it really diluted and add some more hairs up here. A few down and over in here. Oop, that's a little too concentrated. this a little dark because she's under, the foot is under, it's in the shadow. You just keep adding till you get what you're looking for. This is looking a little too pale, so I'm going to go back in, add a little more of that pink with a little brown. Yep. Little brown. The watercolor washed it out. It dries much lighter, so sometimes you have to add stuff back in. Okay, I'm going to add some brown. Take away a little bit. Not bad. You get the idea. So for the rest, I think I'll just do a time lapse. It's faster than me completely telling you every little nook and cranny of me filling in the rest of the design. But you get the idea of the hedgehog, and so the rest of this tutorial you'll see me filling in the rest. And then I'll come back to you again. Okay, so you saw me fill that all in, and I'm going to be adding just a few little details with the darker green grass spikes here and there. You saw how I went in and added the gouache and put the gouache for the mushrooms. Just adding in some dark green polka dots on this guy. But pretty much that's the design. Remember the sketch? And here's the final design. I hope you liked this tutorial. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for stopping by. People did request more than anything woodland animals, so I decided to do some. Hedgehog today, probably do a rabbit or an owl tomorrow. Any suggestions, put them in the comments. That'd be great. It helps me a lot because sometimes I don't want to just paint for myself. People want to know other things besides what I like. So anyway, thanks for stopping by and have a great day.